Okay, now that you've watched the video, let's talk a little bit about what we saw, because that video is Beowulf's whole life. Okay, remember that we just read an excerpt. We just read a small piece. And so when we think about the journey, the hero's journey, the call to adventure and the departure we talked about. Okay, those were in the book. The assistance, does Beowulf get help from someone older and wiser? I don't think so. We had a conversation with my A-Day classes about how it's possible that we could say the sword was his assistance. And although that's true, there's a better place to put that. So if it's fine with me, if you leave this blank, and it's fine with me if you say that his thanes or his fellow warriors were his assistants. That is fine. Now, the video itself shows not the whole, but many more battles that Beowulf had instead of only focusing on Grendel. Because as you see, once Grendel dies, his mother starts to attack. And so then Beowulf has to go and deal with her. So I would say that the trials would include defeating Grendel and his mother and all of the battles that Beowulf has to fight. Because at the very, very end and the very, very beginning of the video, we see this idea of gold being hidden by a dragon. That thing that ends up taking Beowulf's life is actually his whole journey. It is his whole life. And so he has many battles, many trials, but the one that we are most familiar with is Grendel and his mother. So the approach then is a little tricky also, because to say that Beowulf confronts his biggest fear, Beowulf's not afraid of anything. When he has to go and fight that dragon, he just goes. He doesn't think about it. He doesn't have time to be afraid. He's like, this dragon is killing our people. We've got to do something now. There is no time to be arguing about this gold. Let's go. And that's exactly what he does. He doesn't wait for anybody to even support him. And so we're still going to put, though, that his approach is fighting the dragon. And then his crisis, his most deadly time, is killing the dragon. That's when we think that, is he going to live? Which he doesn't. What is it that Beowulf wants that he does receive, but the result costs him his life? Okay, the result is that Beowulf dies. And that's the reason there is no return, there is no new life resolution. There is for his people, but there's not for Beowulf himself. He's passed away. And so what is it that he wants and did receive? Okay, so once you've got all of these things completed, then go ahead and move on to making sure you've done your archetypal hero traits. And here we have, yes, he had unusual circumstances of birth, and the rest of them, if you can prove something with evidence from the video or the passage that we read in the book, then you can include it, okay? Leaves family? No. Traumatic event leads to quest? You might consider one of those things. Now, here is where I think the sword comes in. The special weapon would be his powerful sword. That supernatural help could be the sword also. So choose one. Do you want to make the sword the special weapon, or do you want to make the sword supernatural help? Either way, you could include it here on this paragraph about him being an archetypal hero. Does he prove himself on his quest? That's for you to decide. But I think that killing Beowulf's mother, and ultimately being the king of the Gates, says that he has proved himself worthy of being the one that was originally mentioned in the video that is worthy to kill the dragon. He does have a journey, but he doesn't have an unhealable wound. Again, he does not have atonement with his father, and the spiritual hypothesis, that is your decision, your call. If you want to talk about this and have evidence from the video, great. But I feel like you have enough information on this archetypal hero traits slide to have one good paragraph to start your essay. All right, so go ahead and get busy on completing this. This part is your pre-writing, your drafting, and then the rest of it, flip the paper over and write your rough draft. Alrighty? Do as much of that as you can today. I expect at least one paragraph to be completed, if not two. Oh, when you're finished, put it in the, I'm pointing like y'all are in the classroom, put it in the colorful, in the gray slots with the correct class period on it. Alrighty? See you guys later.